Bueno, pues vamos a por la última parte que nos queda de esta serie de vídeos con ejemplos del nuevo ACTIS. Y ha llegado la hora del listening. ¡Ay, el listening! ¿Qué os pasa aquí? Bien, está claro que la gran mayoría no se os da bien. De hecho, el listening junto al speaking suele ser el que más os baja la media y para muestra aquí podéis ver los resultados de la gran mayoría de los certificados emitidos donde el listening suele ser la nota más baja. No quiero dedicar este vídeo a enseñaros cómo mejorar vuestro listening, pero está claro que lo necesitáis. Así que ahora vamos con unos ejemplos y trucos para sacar la máxima nota posible en esta parte del test, que es para lo que he preparado esta serie. Pero os recomiendo suscribiros si no lo habéis hecho ya, porque en breve voy a preparar un vídeo de cómo mejorar el listening y ese vídeo es el que seguramente os ayude de verdad. Bien, primera pregunta. Antes de nada, como hemos hecho en otras partes del test, en vídeos anteriores, vamos a tirar de nuestra hoja en blanco para poder hacer anotaciones. Aquí no podemos perder mucho el tiempo, así que simplemente escribimos A, B, C, de esta forma, leemos la pregunta y empezamos a escuchar el audio. Cada vez que haya una mención a cualquiera de las opciones, haremos un ciclo de más pequeño a más grande para que podamos ver el orden en el que el audio hace referencia a alguna de las posibles respuestas. Escuchemos.
Andrew calls Sue from his holiday. What present has he got her?
Hi, Sue. I hope everything's okay at home. Just a quick call to let you know we had a great holiday. We're on our way home now, and we've got you a lovely present to say thank you. A big cake. I hope we don't get home too late so we can see you tonight and enjoy it with a cup of tea. Lots of love.
Como veis, al principio, como los audios son más fáciles, es posible que podáis hacer todas las marcas en la primera reproducción, como acabo de hacer yo, pero no hay por qué correr. Hay tiempo para escuchar las dos reproducciones si lo necesitáis en todas las preguntas. Pero vamos ahora con un listening de B1.
Listen to this interview. Who first thought of doing a show at a party?
When did you start doing shows for other people?
When our daughters were 5, my husband suggested using the dolls to entertain the children at their birthday party. I wrote a little show and he built a dolls theatre. My daughters and their friends loved it. As a result, other parents asked me to come and do the show at their children's parties. That's how it all began.
En este audio hemos tenido suerte porque nos han mencionado todas las palabras que aparecen como respuesta, pero hay que tener mucho cuidado porque hay veces que usan sinónimos y es probable que nos quede alguna respuesta sin marcar. En fin, ahora en nuestra segunda reproducción vamos a intentar estar más atentos al orden y haremos una cruz si vemos que la información es opuesta a la de la pregunta, un símbolo de interrogación si no parece estar muy claro y un tic si entendemos que la respuesta es correcta.
Listen to this interview. Who first thought of doing a show at a party?
When did you start doing shows for other people?
When our daughters were 5, my husband suggested using the dolls to entertain the children at their birthday party. I wrote a little show and he built a dolls theatre. My daughters and their friends loved it. As a result, other parents asked me to come and do the show at their children's parties. That's how it all began.
¿Tenéis alguna duda en este punto? Dejadme un comentario y vamos ahora por un nivel un poquito más alto, el B2, usando el mismo sistema.
What are these two women looking at?
It's very lovely, isn't it? Well, I suppose so. But it's not really practical, is it? I mean, it's so tall and thin you'd be afraid of knocking it over. Or would you actually put flowers in it?
Oh, really? You'd put it somewhere where the light could shine through, just to look at it. You wouldn't want to use it, not at that price.
¿Veis? Aquí han hecho lo que os dije antes. No nos nombran las respuestas, aquí nos las están más o menos describiendo. Al principio dice que no es muy práctico, así que descarto el bowl, que sí que sería práctico, digo yo, ¿no? Inmediatamente después dice que es alto y estrecho, así que podría estar describiendo un sink, que es como un lavabo. Y luego deja caer que se podrían poner flores, así que estaría haciendo referencia a vase claramente. Los que tengáis más nivel probablemente ya sepáis la respuesta, pero los que estáis más pendientes de las menciones seguramente necesitéis volver a escuchar ahora que ya sabemos el orden. ¡Vamos allá!
What are these two women looking at?
It's very lovely, isn't it? Well, I suppose so. But it's not really practical, is it? I mean, it's so tall and thin you'd be afraid of knocking it over. Or would you actually put flowers in it?
Oh, really? You'd put it somewhere where the light could shine through, just to look at it. You wouldn't want to use it, not at that price.
Justo al final, una de las mujeres dice algo así como que realmente no lo usarías, es algo para admirar. Así que de los tres, está claro que la última opción es la correcta. ¿Alguna duda? Dejar un comentario. Pero atentos aquí porque es donde podéis encontrar dos tipos de listening diferentes. El antiguo, con el mismo sistema de audios, pero subiendo de nivel hasta las 25 preguntas, tal y como hemos hecho hasta ahora, o la nueva versión, que es la que vamos a ver nosotros a partir de aquí. Y os digo esto porque en teoría es la versión nueva, que deberíais encontraros desde abril del 2020. Pero todavía hoy, de hecho, uno de mis alumnos la semana pasada se topó con los 25 audios. Así que si os tocan los 25 audios podéis seguir usando el mismo procedimiento, pero si os toca la versión nueva en esta pantalla, vamos a hacer un esquema muy parecido al que vimos en el ejemplo del reading en el vídeo anterior. Preparamos la hoja con las palabras clave del desplegable. Como aquí están hablando a lo que les gustaría dedicarse, voy a escribir solamente los nombres de los trabajos. Sales Assistant, Gardener, Nurse, Receptionist, Chemist and Journalist. Y 4 columnas, en este caso A, B, C and D. Bueno, pues igual que en los ejercicios anteriores, usaré un tic cuando tenga clara la referencia, un símbolo de interrogación si no lo veo muy claro y una cruz si deja claro lo opuesto. Vamos allá, voy a ir rellenando según vayamos escuchando y hacerlo vosotros también.
You will hear 4 people talking about jobs they like to have. Complete the sentences below.
I want to do something that can make a difference to people. The trouble with this country is people don't really know what's going on. I mean, even things that affect, their daily lives. So I could go out and really find out what's happening, meet the people who make the decisions, and then produce articles that put the readers in the picture.
I'm looking for something that will let me have contact with people. I've had several jobs in the past, mostly in offices, companies. Sometimes quite interesting, but not dealing with the public. I'd like to be looking after people, not bits of paper. I think the sort of big store where people go to make major purchases, furniture, where the decisions will affect their lives for years, so you can really help them if you're well informed about the products. I think that'd be quite rewarding, actually.
I'm very much what they call a people person. So I'd like to feel I was part of a team, working to give the guests a good time. And I'd like to feel that I was perhaps their first contact as they came in. And I'm quite, lively and smiley, I think. So that should help them to feel better if they were worn out, at the end of a long journey or something. And I think the leisure industry is growing. So that'd be good, career-wise, I think.
Yes, I've been, thinking about getting back to work. Now my children are at school all day. Well, I used to have a job in the Parks Department at the council, actually. Well, it was very nice in some ways, a nice atmosphere. I thought I might do some training in planning people's, like what plants grow in different soils and how to group them. I'd like going to meet them and discussing their what they needed doing, that sort of thing.
Ahora, los que tengáis dudas podríais escucharlo otra vez, pero en mi caso lo tengo claro, así que traslado las respuestas del papel al examen y continuamos. Toca hacer lo mismo que antes. Como todo gira en torno a los museos, voy a obviar esa palabra en los keywords y para las columnas voy a poner las iniciales, pero si os vais a liar, escribid man, woman or both y listo. Con el esquema preparado, vamos a escuchar e ir marcando igual que hemos hecho antes.
Mary and Frank are discussing current developments in museums.
Read the opinions below and decide whose opinion matches the statements. The man, the woman, or both the man and the woman.
Your children aren't very keen on science, are they?
Well, that's the point. I wanted to give them some encouragement, sort of sugar the pill. Actually, I found them a good booklet on the museum and the local library first, and so they got interested in the exhibits before we went.
That must have been helpful.
And it saves time when you actually visit, if you know what to focus on.
What about the cost? Museums charge quite a lot now, don't they? They were all free years ago when I took my children.
Well, that's all a bit up in the air at the moment. Some places are still free, some just charge £1 for adults, and some charge quite a hefty sum.
I can see that charging is a thorny issue. But the collections in museums are national assets, so everyone should be able to have equal access to them, shouldn't they?
There are other implications, like the theory that people are more likely to value something if they have to pay for it.
But let's look at public libraries. They're a national resource too.
So?
Well, it would be quite wrong if the local authorities started charging for access to them, claiming it would make children appreciate books more.
But museums have to put on special events to attract more people. but books in a library don't change that much. And you know, some museums have an outreach system now, which I think is quite a positive move.
Does that mean they take dinosaur skeletons and paintings round the country in a van?
It would need a very large van for a dinosaur. No, they send some of their collection, paintings, etc., out to schools, libraries, community centres on temporary loan.
Oh, I see. Well, it is a long way to the big museums from little towns like this. I suppose that's quite a creative use of resources.
Indeed.
What was the building itself like? I saw a programme on TV about a new museum in the north, and the architecture was lovely, very light and airy.
And I'm sure the sort of building really influences how you experience the contents.
Well, perhaps I'd better see the Science Museum for myself.
Se nota que vamos subiendo de nivel, ¿eh? ¿Alguna duda en cuanto a lo que he respondido? Dejadme un comentario si es así y prometo contestaros. Vamos a por el nivel C. Aquí ya no hay hoja que valga. Tenemos que prestar mucha atención e intentar entender la historia. A estos niveles recomiendo leer solo el enunciado de las preguntas, pero ni caso de las respuestas. What did the woman think about the actor's acceptance speech? And what did the woman think about the audience reaction? Bueno, pues toca escuchar.
Listen to a critic talking on the radio about an actor's acceptance speech for a major award and answer the questions below.
Speaking in front of a large audience of your peers is an intimidating task for most of us, but for actors who are used to performing in public, it should be relatively stress-free. The actor who took last night's big award has played some memorable roles on the screen and is known for his thorough preparation. In fact, some critics, myself included, find his performances a little too over-rehearsed and lacking in real human feeling. Nevertheless, his most recent role, for which he won last night's award, has been attracting a great deal of attention, and so when his name was read out, it came as no big surprise to those in the room. In real life, he is known to be quite reticent and tends to choose his words carefully, so no doubt the audience was expecting a brief note of thanks and a quick exit. On accepting the award, he seemed initially at a loss for words, and then, as is traditional on these occasions, he thanked his fellow actors and the director. The fact that he momentarily forgot his co-star's name produced some brief laughter from the audience. He then launched into a long and rambling speech about his parents and how they had supported him when he was starting out. His voice gave out once or twice as he recalled his childhood. Audiences at these kind of shows are used to witty remarks and inside jokes. When they don't get it, then they are unsure how to react. Of course, cynics may say this was all just another performance designed to manipulate the feelings. But when compared with his actual work on screen, it struck me as something quite different. He left the stage to rather uncertain applause.
Ahora os recomiendo contestar directamente a la pregunta con vuestras palabras antes de leer las opciones. Yo a la primera pregunta diría que contra todo pronóstico su intervención ha sido natural y emocionante, especialmente cuando ha usado la palabra rumble hablando de sus padres. Ahora voy a ver las posibles respuestas. The emotions he expressed appear to be genuine. Ok, parece correcta. He had clearly planned what was going to say. La mujer hace mención a esto, pero lo ha puesto como contraste. Parecía que no es lo que solía hacer. Así que no me suena, pero si tuviera alguna duda en la segunda reproducción que me dejan, pondría más atención a esta parte. Y por último, his behavior on stage was embarrassing. Ni de lejos, así que la primera sería la correcta. Y en cuanto a la segunda, justo al final dice algo así como que se va del escenario con un uncertain applause. Más el contraste al que hace mención antes, creo que el público se ha sorprendido y la opción The audience was shocked by the speech parece perfecta. ¿Probáis ahora vosotros? Leed el enunciado y las dos preguntas. Os pongo el listening y la transcripción en la descripción. Atentos.
Listen to a city planner talk at a press conference about a new transport plan and answer the questions below.
The plan we are publishing today aims at addressing transportation problems in the city and was created by a committee in collaboration with experts in the field of urban planning. In an attempt to ensure that the plan met the needs of the broader community, residents, road users, commuters and so on, there were numerous open discussions in the early stages. We wanted the public to have their say and avoid the errors of the past. Previous urban development projects were criticised for being out of touch with the people they were designed for, and this resulted in some expensive mistakes. Gathering a wide range of opinions is not an easy task, and inevitably, some voices may be louder than others. Some groups may simply be better at getting their views across, While it has not been the intention of the committee to exclude anyone, the realities of such a large-scale project are bound to have an impact on the final outcome. The committee has always stressed the importance of clarity and the need to keep the public informed. The media has chosen to report on the plan ahead of its official publication today. In fact, there has been a great deal of speculation in the past few weeks over certain decisions that were supposedly made. A public debate on these issues is, of course, part of the overall process and helps to involve everybody. However, when the debate is informed by dubious sources and unconfirmed information, then it can ultimately confuse and complicate what is already a very complex issue. The media's role in this process should be to explain the key issues and, if necessary, challenge the assumptions the committee has made.
Ahora, ¿qué contestaríais a estas dos preguntas? Si te animas, déjame tu solución en los comentarios y te digo si has acertado o no. Y si queréis más vídeos como estos, solo tenéis que compartir, darle a like, suscribiros, ya sabéis todo eso, para que pueda sacar más tiempo, que ya sabéis que esto lleva su trabajo. Sé que lo entendéis. Hacks for all and good luck on the real test, mates.